Hello, gorgeous soul, and welcome to this epic podcast. This is a place where you are encouraged and you have absolute freaking permission to unapologetically go after all of your dreams, all of your visions, all of your things on your vision board, like everything that your heart desires. I'm your host, Angharad, the High Vibe Babe, and I believe that we're all in this life to expand and experience our wildest dreams. If one of us can have it, then we all can. So that is the aim of this podcast. Each week I'll either be going solo or have guests with the aim to inspire, uplift you and give you the tools for you to live your most epic AF life and business possible. You can find me on Instagram with the handle @HighVibeBabe. Now let's get into today's episode. Hey beautiful babes, Angharad here. What I'm actually going to be doing right now is answering questions, your human design questions that I'm posted. So for this month and next month, I'm going to do weekly lives and answer all your human design questions. So I'll create another post for this. So I have some questions. Okay, so I'm going to start with Penny. She said, how do you manage a balance in relationships between manifestors and generators? So I know that Penny's a generator and her husband is a manifestor. So the biggest thing that I would say that comes down to your strategy. So manifestors need to inform. So this is the same dynamic as my husband is. My husband's a generator, I'm a manifestor. So I really do get this dynamic quite significantly. So the thing with manifestors is we have to inform people. They just can't read us the same way we can read other people or the same way that we expect them to read us. And our communication often basically just set ourselves up for success when it comes to informing. So it comes down to us really owning our personal power and actually informing them. But also likewise, I think the big thing that I wish I knew like a long time ago about being a manifestor, which would be great for you to understand about your husband, is that our biggest desire is freedom. So any time that firstly we're pinning ourselves down, so like what we often do as manifestors is, because we're here to inform, what we do is we go and inform the person of a decision, right? That's what we're told to do. Go and inform the person of our decision before we have made an action. So for instance, before I want to hire a one-on-one coach or before we're going to go on a holiday, I've decided it, right? Now I go and inform my partner. So what would happen in those instances though is I was waiting for their permission. So because I was needing their permission, right, to go and do the thing that I was informing them about, I wasn't actually informing, and then I felt caged and not free anymore. So I was really fucking myself over because I wasn't actually like giving myself the biggest desire ever as a manifestor. So the big thing really is to allow freedom. They're going to be very creative. They're going to like have random as shit ideas that you're just not going to understand. But my husband and I really navigate it in a way where he just knows I'm a visionary. He knows that I'm going to do some weird stuff, and he's like seen it pan out and see it like go amazingly. So now he's beginning to trust me a lot more. So I would really encourage a lot of freedom. I would really also encourage you to inform him. So as a manifestor, our strategy is to inform, but we love to be informed. For instance, when we were farming, I used to ask my husband at night, okay, I didn't used to milk the cows very often, like once a fortnight, like a weekend, a fortnight, whatever, like not very often, right? I used to ask him where the cows are going at night, and he'd be like, you don't need to know. You don't need to know this. You're not going to get them. And I'm like, I don't know. I just want to be informed. It used to frustrate me that he wouldn't tell me where they are or where they're going. But I just want to be informed. We just want to be informed. We just want to be informed. It's like the biggest, it's a really, really big thing for us. So inform him. He's going to want to be informed about things. Not because he's going to do anything about it, not because it pertains to him in any way, shape or form. He's just going to want to be informed, okay? And then same thing, so for you, he's going to need to learn to inform you. But also the other really big thing I found within my relationship is actually, took me a long time to figure this out, okay? Generators often answer with yes or no answers. And this used to really frustrate me because I'm like, can't you just tell me a little more about how you're feeling, about how it's going, about the things that tell you what's going on in your brain? There's probably a bit of a girl boy dynamic there, to be honest as well. But he needs to be able to ask you yes or no questions, because you aren't necessarily always going to be able to spiel off this big long thing. Sometimes it's just a sacral or and that's actually a good thing for you. It's actually you standing in your power. So he needs to offer those opportunities for you and also be okay with that you may not have a big explanation why or whatever. Does that sort of make sense? And the you know how we have the non-alignment theme. So for manifestors, out of alignment theme, misalignment. What's that word? Frustration. Oh, anyway, I've forgotten the actual term right now. But anyway, for manifestors, it's anger. So this is for us to dig into. Not self theme. That's the one. That's something to be really aware of. And for generators and mani-gens, it is frustration. So anytime that we're feeling angry or frustrated, depending on who you are, with your partner, it's to know that it's actually an internal job. It's something going on inside of us, right? It's something you peel back the layers and you find it's like you have another morning routine, or you're frustrated with your job, or that, like dig back the layers, okay? And then the other thing is, for both of those types, the in-self theme, or the alignment, how you feel for manifestors, is peace. So when they're feeling really peaceful, when their life is going peaceful, when there's all these sorts of, when there's peace signs everywhere, that's a really good thing. So that's like, basically, if you go to the bed at the end of the day feeling peace, bang on in alignment, okay? And for generators, it's satisfaction. So if you're going to bed feeling satisfied, that's amazing. So just like being aware of that, don't it? All those basic things, I think will really be a great thing for you to implement and understand between the both of you. Okay, the next question is from Ashley. Can you explain me this? So she posted her chart, and we chat a little bit in the group in the group about it. She's a emotional manifestor. And I just want to touch on the last, and then I referred her to a podcast. Over the next few weeks, I've got some podcast interviews coming out. I've definitely got a mani-gen and a manifestor on my podcast now. So if you're one of those design types, or if you desire to understand one of those design types, as your children or your partner or your boss or something like that, I think I would listen to those. So I did a part of a human design reading I put on a podcast. So I referred her to the manifestor one. So we spoke a lot about manifestors, which was amazing. So she went and listened to that and answered a lot of her questions. But at the end, she touched on something that I'd like to touch on. She said, I can definitely see now where some of my resistance is coming from, and I can see where I've been conditioned to play small. Or maybe it's that I'd prefer to stay small to avoid attention. I'm not sure, but I've taken so much from the podcast, and I'll be working through that and tweaking my life. Thank you so much. Cool. So I just want to touch on the playing small thing. So as a manifestor, we definitely are conditioned to play small because we're like quite intense, right? But also I think, like, for me, one of the things I always found is like, I always felt like I was just trying to like create as least disturbance as possible as I'm like walking through a crowd of people is like the best way to really describe it. One of the reasons why I always felt like out of place and too intense for people was, firstly, I hadn't found my tribe, okay? I was surrounded by people who just didn't get me, who didn't support me, who didn't understand me. So finding a tribe is like an amazing thing to do. But also, secondly, because we have a very big energy, okay, it's very intense, our aura is very, very intense, then finding our tribe is going to be an amazing place to start, because, and it doesn't have to be a lot of people, right? It's about quality, not quantity, okay? And then when you're in that space, to really allow yourself to expand and speak in a way that really feels true to you, and pull back all of the things that are not allowing you to be the beautiful manifestor that you are, because the world needs you. We're only 7% of the world. There used to be a whole lot more, in the past and stuff, were the ones running the world. And I just learned the other day, Donald Trump is a manifestor. But the world really needs us. We are very powerful. We are very different to everyone else, and everyone is different. But they really do need us for our ideas and our energy, and we activate everyone. So we're the only type out of all of the 5 types who doesn't need an external stimulus. So we are the ones, that's the reason why we're activators, right? It's because the generator is getting the response, the projector is getting the invitation, and the reflector, they weren't in the moon, but still. We're creating all these opportunities for everyone else to be in alignment and to go and act on the things. So it's really important for us to be in our power, because we are needed, okay? So like, that's one of the things that I really found. I was always like trying to play small and try not to be too intense, because I just was a visionary and no one really got me. I don't really, like all these sorts of conditioning. So like finding a place and just speaking in a way that feels really authentic to you, like honestly, it's going to change the game for you. So I'm so glad you took so much for the podcast as well. Okay, Jessie is a sacral generator, and she said, I feel like I'm looking at an alien map. I understand that my undefined lines are where I'm open to energy, maybe, but what does the coloured lines mean? A bit more info on this topic, because I'm not educated in this. Okay, cool. So the lines are something that are not as important. So the lines are called gates if there's only half of them, and it's a channel if it goes from like one center to the other. So here from your root to your spleen, is that the right side? Yeah, spleen. So it becomes a channel. But the most important thing when you are looking into human design at the beginning is your energy type, strategy, and authority. So your energy type is a generator. So you have a big warm hug aura when you're in alignment. Generators also have massive fuck off vibes when they're not in alignment. Like, you're walking around, you're like, oh, don't go near that one, or oh, mum is really grumpy today, we ain't going near her. Do you know what I mean? Generators are like this. So, but when you're in alignment, you feel like a big warm hug, and so your aura is a magnet to everything you desire. You're the life force of the energy, so you literally life force energy of the planet. So your sacral is why you're called a generator, because you have a sacral defined. So if you think about a power plants don't have energy, they make energy. So you're going to make energy through movement, through something that's really, really aligned with you, and your sacral will light up. You will know what lights you up, because you feel like you go for a very, very, very long time doing it, and you will continue doing it. So those are the biggest things. And then so really start with your strategy, authority. Your authority is sacral, so it's aha or it's a yes or a no. And then once you get the answer from your sacral, then you're meant to lean back and actually wait for a response. This is your strategy. So this is basically because your aura is such a big magnet and it's bringing everything that you desire to you. It's the reason why your strategy is actually to respond, because your aura is magnetizing everything to you while you've just made the decision and waiting for it to come to you. So like my generator clients, it's so powerful seeing them do this, because one of the biggest things that generators actually have to decondition is the fact that they have a life force energy. They can be quite masculine, because they're like, I can just go and do the things now. So by leaning back and waiting, it can feel very alien to them. But when I work closely with my clients and see them actually do that step back and wait for everything to come to them, it happens on the quickest timeline possible, because their aura is literally magnetizing everything they desire, everything that's in alignment for them. So that's a really, really powerful place to start. The next question is, Viola, I'd love to ask your perspective on how a manifestor best shows up and sells. I can add my chart. Cool. So, V's a manifestor, I'm a manifestor. We're so cool, manifestors. Okay, so I thought about this for a little bit, and actually, I think it's the simplest answer. You're probably going to be like, what? Yeah, probably, yeah. So for me, in my opinion, it's an urge. It has to be an urge. We get the manifestor urge, right? And it's about and you're going to know all these things, right? Like deconditioning the things that are stopping us selling at midnight, or after we've had a baby, or the fact that our husband's sick, or the fact that, we haven't done anything other than sell on social media this week, or what, we should decondition all the stories, right? And then remove all the stories. But it's always an urge. It's an urge. It's an urge. It's an urge. So like for me, I go through stages where like I will sell for nothing, like no selling at all for like 3 weeks, and suddenly I'll just sell for like 3 weeks straight. So it's the same sort of thing as like the ebb and flow of our cycle, the ebb and flow of like our working life, like actually how much work we do behind the scenes and stuff like that. It's always an urge. I can't, and like it's the most basic answer, but honestly, it's the most powerful thing, I think. That is my perspective. Okay, next question is, it's the last one, Connie, which is V's mum. She's posted her chart, and she's a emotional manifesting generator. How much does a manifesting generator need to rest? I'm creative at times and mostly have endless energy, but sometimes I crash. So there's two things. Firstly, I find that because generators can get in quite a masculine right? Because the sacral's lit up, but there's a really big power to deconditioning the masculine in us, so we can actually be in our feminine, right? And I know you've done femme fatale and stuff, right? With Melanie and stuff, so you know about the feminine and everything, but it's about listening to, I think, towards the end of your week. So I've worked with generators quite closely, and what I find is towards the end of a work day, you just want to finish something. You just want to just finish it, and you had a yes earlier on that you're going to do this thing, right? So we're like, yeah, brain's like, yeah, so it was a yes, let's go and do it. But actually, it's actually a sacral no in that moment, or even a sacral should, which is actually, we feel like we should, which is actually a sacral no, right? So really, I would continually ask your sacral questions, like, should I be doing this now? Should I be doing this now? Should I be doing this? Like, is this the right step? Is this the right step? Also, the other reason why, remember, you've got the ebb and flow of your emotional cycle as well. So, and also a feminine cycle too, right? Which you'll probably be going with moon, is that correct? So we've got those other elements as well that are going to come into play for our work days and how our work is going to work, and whether we need to crash, we need to rest, or we need to finish half. So one of the things that I work with my clients with often is towards the end of the day, it's like finishing that extra half hour earlier than thought you were going to need to, and that can often be quite serving yourself, because you've pulled back before you've depleted your battery, so to speak. But the thing is, if you go to bed satisfied at the end of the night, at the end of the day, if you feel satisfied, that is a perfect and alignment thing. So even if you're satisfied while you're crashing for 2 days or a day or whatever it looks like, that's a really good thing. So I would really just test and see, and really, really do connect back in with your sacral and with your intuition, at every step of your day or towards the end of the day, how things are moving. Because even if you had a sacral yes to begin with, that you're going to go all of this to-do list and it was all all achievable for you, just check back in with your intuition, because she's got you, boo. Okay, so these were all the questions for this week, which is really exciting. I hope you ladies have a really lovely weekend. I got a massage. Today's my goddess day. I got my hair done, massage, and I'm going to catch up with my family tonight, which is really exciting. The kids have gone to Gran and Poppy's, so they're having lots of fun, and I'm going to have lots of fun, and I'm just feeling so high vibe right now, like so relaxed and peaceful and manifestor alignment right there. But yeah, I'm sending you heaps and heaps and heaps of love, and I will create a new thread for you if you have anyone else have any questions, or anyone even had a question today. If you have any more questions, it's gonna be for the next 4 or 5 weeks. Okay, lots of love. Bye. If you have enjoyed this episode, I would adore if you would screenshot it, chuck it up on your stories with your favorite takeaway moment, and tag me at HiVibeBabe on Instagram so that more people can see this and get this content and get this message out there to really shape and change and impact other people's lives. Do you desire to be around more high vibe women who really get you, who encourage you, who support you no matter what? Yeah, well, guess what? I have a place that you belong. It is called High Vibe Babes Community. It is a free Facebook group, and I would love to have you in there. There are so many free trainings and epicness in this group, so please get your booty in there. It would mean the world if you would subscribe to this podcast, do the reviews, the rating, the stars, all of the things. Thank you so much for being here. I cannot wait to chat with you on the next episode. I'm sending you all of the vibes and all of the love. Over and out from Angharad, the High Vibe Babe.